There's a core misunderstanding that nearly every man carries into any encounter with a woman he's drawn to. Energy gets poured into hunting for the obvious cues, the exaggerated hair flip, the constant giggles, the instant text replies. Modern dating gurus have convinced them that if she isn't putting on a show for you, she must not be interested. But here's what most men completely fail to grasp. Women of real depth and emotional intelligence, the high-value ones, almost never reveal their hand that easily. In fact, the stronger her genuine interest in you grows, the more she may actually guard her outward reactions. Why? Because rejection terrifies her just as much as it terrifies you. She's shielding her own heart while quietly evaluating whether you truly are the grounded masculine presence you seem to be. If you only scan for the loud stuff, you'll completely miss the quiet psychological leaks that surface when her subconscious has already decided on you, even while her conscious mind is still playing it composed. Most men move through life essentially blind to what's actually happening with the women around them. A polite smile gets misread as an open door. Her silence gets misread as rejection. They're only reacting to the surface, never grasping that underneath it, an entirely separate conversation is unfolding. Attraction doesn't work like a light switch flicking on or off. It's a slow-building frequency. And once a woman starts tuning into your frequency, she begins scattering breadcrumbs of interest, not because she's playing games, but because she genuinely can't help it. These are biological and psychological reactions that slip past her social filter entirely. They're the cracks in her armor. In this breakdown, we're skipping the same recycled advice you've already heard 1,000 times over. Instead, we're going deep into the actual mechanics of female psychology to uncover 8 hidden signs that reveal she secretly has feelings for you, signals she isn't even consciously aware she's sending. We'll get into why she might suddenly turn clumsy around you, why her body language might contradict her words, and why remembering your tiniest details is actually a profound form of intimacy. If you've ever left a conversation unsure where you stood, or felt a spark but couldn't tell if it went both ways, this is built for you. By the time this video ends, the guessing stops. You won't be that endlessly polite but perpetually confused man anymore. You'll be someone who can read a room, sense the energy shift, and know precisely when a woman is opening the door for you to move closer. We're leaving the games behind and stepping into authentic human connection. Because once you can spot these 8 signs, dating stops feeling like walking through a minefield and starts feeling like reading a map. Stick with me, because what's coming next is going to permanently reshape how you see every woman you meet from here on out. Before we get into the very first psychological signal, the one most men walk straight past every day, let's take a moment to root ourselves in what we're building here. If you've been around this channel a while, you already know we don't do shallow advice. No hacks, no gimmicks, because those things fade fast. They're like slapping fresh paint on a house whose foundation is crumbling. What happens here is real work. We examine the architecture of the human heart and the mechanics behind masculine and feminine dynamics. Because of that, the men gathered here are different. You're not just chasing a date. You're chasing a connection with actual substance. You want a woman capable of seeing the depth inside you because you've put in the work to recognize that same depth in her. That's exactly why I want to know who's with me today. Where are you tuning in from? A quiet flat in London, a highway cutting through Texas, a buzzing street in Lagos or Tokyo? Drop your city or country in the comments. I'm Isabella, and I genuinely read through these. It matters to me because it's a reminder that this isn't just another video. It's a worldwide conversation among men who are done with the noise and ready for something true. And I'm here to understand this world on a deeper level too. There's an invisible thread linking every man watching right now, the longing to be understood, paired with the drive to become someone who understands others. Think back to the last time a woman genuinely saw you, not just acknowledged for what you can offer or how you look, but truly seen for the man you're actually becoming. Rare feeling, isn't it? Most of the world drifts by on autopilot, buried in screens, anxieties, and scripts. But by showing up here, you're stepping outside that autopilot. You're choosing to sharpen your instincts. As you type out your location, take a breath, settle in, clear away distractions. Flip on Do Not Disturb if you need to. We're about to enter territory a lot of men find uncomfortable, because it demands attention to things that don't shout for it. It requires a level of masculine stillness that lets you feel the exact moment a room's energy shifts. If you're ready to stop guessing and start knowing, ready to become a man who can sense a woman's interest before she ever speaks a word, let's move forward together. We're starting with sign number 1, something that shows up within the very first minutes of talking, yet 90% of men read it completely backward as disinterest. Call it the vulnerability test. The earliest indicator that a woman is shifting from casual curiosity into genuine attraction is something most men actually mistake for a buzzkill. Picture a conversation flowing well, light energy, both of you smiling, the polished mask of a first meeting still firmly in place. Then, out of nowhere, she drops a small, unpolished piece of truth. A quiet insecurity about her career, a mistake she made earlier that day, an odd little habit she usually feels embarrassed by. Most men, eager to keep the mood upbeat, try to skate right past it. A quick compliment, a don't worry about it, steering things back to safe, shallow small talk. Do that, and you've just failed the test. Here's the mechanism. When a woman is drawn to a man, she starts subconsciously auditing his emotional capacity. She's silently asking, if I show him the parts of myself that aren't polished, will he crumble? Will he judge me? Or is he steady enough to hold this space? Sharing a vulnerability is her handing you a key, testing whether you're a safe harbor. High-value women grow exhausted by the performance demanded of modern dating. They're on all day, at work, on social media, around friends. When they encounter a man with genuine masculine presence, they feel an almost primal urge to let their guard down. If she admits she's nervous about a presentation, or that she felt lonely over the weekend, she's not asking you to fix it. She's signaling that she trusts you enough to let you glimpse behind the curtain. Consider the psychology here. We don't reveal our wounds to people we don't care about. We reveal them to those we want closeness with. If she stays flawless the entire time, every hair perfectly placed, every story polished, never admitting a single doubt, she's likely holding you at arm's length, treating you like a stranger or a colleague. But the instant she lets a flaw slip through, she's inviting you into her inner circle. The real signal isn't only that she shares it, it's how she watches you while she does. If she's searching your eyes for a reaction, checking whether you're still fully present with her, she's deeply invested in your opinion of her. That investment is the bedrock of attraction. So next time a woman tells you something that feels a bit too raw for a first or second meeting, don't retreat from it. Don't deflect with a joke. Lean in instead. Hold that same calm, steady eye contact we've discussed. Acknowledge what she shared with something simple and grounded, like, I appreciate you telling me that. It takes real self-awareness to see that in yourself. In doing so, you've signaled that you're a man of depth, capable of handling her complexity. In that instant, her attraction doesn't just grow, it solidifies. You've shifted from being the guy she's talking to into the man who understands her. The second sign is so primal, so deeply wired into our biological evolution, that faking it is nearly impossible for a woman. Call it the proximity shift. Where the first sign lived in emotional territory, this one lives in physical space. All of us carry an invisible bubble of personal space, a boundary we subconsciously guard to feel safe and in control. With 95% of the people we encounter, that bubble stays rigid. We keep distance, angle our bodies toward the exit, maintain a polite gap. But when a woman feels a real psychological and physical pull toward a man, her subconscious starts dismantling that boundary piece by piece. Watch her alignment. Most men focus on whether she's smiling or holding eye contact, but the real story is told by her feet and her torso. In a crowded room or seated across a table, notice how she orients herself. Is she squared up, stomach to stomach with you? In body language psychology, that's called fronting, the ultimate signal of trust and interest. By squaring her torso toward you, she's exposing her most vulnerable vital organs to you, silently saying, I'm fully present with you. You have my undivided attention. But the proximity shift runs deeper than alignment alone. It's about the magnetic pull. Watch for the subtle ways she closes the gap, leaning in further than the conversation actually requires, sliding her drink or phone closer to yours on the table, merging your personal zones into one shared space, or finding accidental reasons to drift into your orbit, brushing your arm in a hallway, lingering a few inches closer than a just friends distance would call for. None of this is accidental. Her subconscious is testing the electromagnetic tension between you, gauging how it feels to exist inside your energy. And here's the secret most men never catch. If she enters your space and lingers there even after the reason for closeness has passed, she's waiting for you to notice, waiting for you to be the grounded masculine presence who acknowledges that tension without being swept away by it. Think about the fight or flight response. Around someone we don't trust or feel neutral toward, any intrusion into our space registers as a threat. We stiffen, we pull back. But when a woman is drawn to you, your closeness feels like home. It feels like relief. If you shift slightly nearer and she doesn't flinch, or better, she closes that last inch herself, you stop being just a guy she's talking to. You've become someone she's claiming physically and emotionally in that space. When you notice this, don't panic and don't feel pressure to escalate immediately. The most powerful move is simply existing in that closeness with calm composure. Let the tension breathe. Let her feel that you're at ease with her nearness. A man who can hold a woman's physical closeness without turning fidgety or desperate signals high status and high emotional intelligence. You're not chasing the proximity, you're the center of gravity she's orbiting. We've covered the emotional and the physical, now the cognitive investment. This third sign might be the most flattering and the most overlooked. Call it memory recall. Ever been talking to a woman you've only met once or twice, and she brings up some tiny, seemingly forgettable detail you mentioned weeks earlier? The name of your childhood pet, your preferred coffee brand, an offhand comment about a work project. Most men shrug it off. Oh, she's just got a good memory. But that vastly understates what's actually happening in her mind. We live in an age of attention poverty, bombarded with thousands of bits of information hourly. Our brains are wired to discard 99% of what people say just to get through the day. What survives is what we value. When a woman remembers the small stuff about you, it's a psychological leak revealing that she's been thinking about you. It means that while you were speaking, she wasn't simply waiting for her turn to talk or nodding along while mentally drafting her to-do list. She was deeply engaged, constructing a mental map of who you are. To her subconscious, your words aren't noise. They're data points helping her understand the man behind the mask. Recall the underlying philosophy here. Most women are used to being looked at, but rarely genuinely listened to. When a woman finds a man she actually likes, the script flips. She becomes the hyper-attentive one. If she surfaces a detail you don't even remember sharing, she's revealing that you've taken up real estate in her mind long after the conversation ended. She's been replaying it, thinking of you in quiet moments, while driving, getting ready for work, lying awake at night. That's a profound act of intimacy, her way of saying, you matter enough that I've made space in my mind to hold on to your stories. Men often try to buy their way into a woman's mind with grand gestures or costly gifts, but her attention is the most expensive currency she owns. If she's spending it on the details of your life, she's already emotionally invested. When this happens, don't just let it slide past. Create that psychological tension we love. Pause, look her in the eyes with a slight knowing smile and say, I'm impressed. Most people wouldn't have caught that. You're a very good listener, aren't you? Calling it out with calm composure does two things. It rewards her attentiveness, encouraging her to lean in even deeper, and it shows her you're observant enough to notice her noticing you. That meta-level awareness is deeply attractive, proof you're not simply falling for her, but a man of presence who tracks the dynamics unfolding between you. You're not merely the subject of her memory, you're the architect of the connection.